mean, I'm
So
trying.
we're gonna move on to Ask Yourself. He's a well-known YouTuber and a vegan philosopher.
Uh-oh.
He had a question for.
Philosopher sounds pretentious. I would never call myself a philosopher. How are you doing, Hassan?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. Had a good time when I talked to you last time. So I hope you did too. I'm not here to try to give you a hard time.
No. Always. The vegan stuff always turns brutal on the internet.
Well, I got two for you. So the first question
Let's
is just
hear it.
last time we spoke. I don't know if you remember that. It was on Christmas Eve when you were doing an AMA in politics. You said you'd like to continue the discussion on your stream. You're free to retract that, obviously, but I tried contacting you on Insta to no avail. I was just wondering if you still want to do that. That's my first question.
Sure, we can do that.
How should I contact you?
On my Discord, delete chicken VOD. I was just cooking chicken right before this conversation started, but yeah, you can hit me up on Discord.
I'm sending you a friend request right now.
I don't really look at my Instagram DMs.
Oh, just go. Okay, yeah. Well, I sent you a friend request. Okay, so I just want to ask you sort of a similar thing. So last time I asked you to name the trait, right? And you gave two answers.
Yeah.
And if you haven't thought this through, we can just do this at some other time. But
I haven't really thought about it since then. But I'll just say this. Look, I admit that it's inexplicable why I can see that I'm a speciesist, and we can talk about why that's bad if you would like. But I admit that it's some inexplicable value that I associate with humans. It's like I care about humans by virtue of them being human beings, and not necessarily as a bunch of individual traits that come together that make them human beings.
So, well, yeah, last time we talked, you gave two sort of possible traits. The first was the combination of it was if you belong to a species who on average could, yeah, and then after we kind of went through that, you switched over to just being human. So it sounds like now you're more on the train of it's just about being human. So the problem with that is, would you accept if, for example, we had the consciousness of a human in some kind of like transitional species, like a human with a cow tail, that it would be fine to just murder that being?
No, because just because someone has a cow tail does not take away from them being human. It's like being a human being is incredibly complex, right? I mean, this is something that, as a philosopher yourself, you probably talk about quite extensively. Like, what is the definition of humanity? We routinely take away humanity from certain organisms that have the capacity to become humans, for example, like abortion with a fertilized egg. So it's just because a human being has a cow tail, I wouldn't probably consider them not human. It just depends on...
Sorry? Okay, well, let's say that we have a being who is physically more similar to an animal than they are to a human, right? So they can't reproduce with humans. Maybe they also have some cow appendages or something. But they're subjectively identical to a human, so it could just be like your mom in there. Is it fine to murder that being? Because what I'm driving at is that I don't think that you actually hold an ethic where being human could be the trait, because I think your answer is just going to be no to all of these questions.
It's being human. What was it? Sorry, fish is barking. My dog's barking in the background. What was your question again? Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Well, yeah. So if the trait is being human, I'm just removing the property of being human. And I'm putting the being in a category where it's extremely obvious they're not a human. So initially I just gave them a cow tail. You're going to say that's still human. I mean, that's debatable. But now I'm just going to transform more of them. I'm going to say physically they're like half animal, but their mind is just identical to a human. It could just be like your mom in there. Is it fine to murder that being?
It's your mom. Is it fine to murder that being?
I mean, it could be your mom, it could be me, it could be you.
I mean, no. Yeah, whatever. Like a human. It has human consciousness and the ability to communicate that human consciousness. This is like the reverse of the name the trait argument that I feel like you're walking me down right now.
It's not the reverse. It is just the name the trait argument.
I mean, it's just name the trait. Or not reverse, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really, like, Hassan, I just want to level with you for a second. I really don't run it as a gotcha. Like, yeah, it's funny when people end up saying stupid shit, and you get someone like Ian Miles Chong saying it's fine to, like, holocaust the planet or something like this. Like, that's all fun and good or whatever. But with you strike me, I said this to you last time, basically, you strike me as someone who actually gives a shit. You seem like you're concerned with people who are in bad situations. You care about oppressed groups. I'm just making the case for valuing the most oppressed group.
Yeah,
And I think that the kind of distinctions that you offer are honestly in most people's eyes probably going to be as arbitrary as the kind of justifications that an ethno-nationalist would offer if I named the trait between black and white people.
Yeah, but the distinction there is that an ethno-nationalist distinguishes between human and non-human, between actual humans, whereas I distinguish it between human. As you already know this, though, I distinguish it between humans and other animals.
Mm-hmm. It's an analogy. It's not a perfect comparison.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the justifications.
It's not just like, I don't know how to describe personhood in a way that is completely morally consistent. Like it's not just sentience, because we talked about sentience before. It's like I said, it's inexplicable. I would have to see it.
Well, say that someone.
That's why. That's why I also place a higher emphasis on like personal pets. That I understand when people place a higher emphasis on personal pets. Like pigs are technically smarter than dogs in most cases, and yet we fucking mass slaughter pigs. We treat animals terribly, and meat production is really gross. I completely agree with you on that. But at the same time, I still, if push came to shove, I would still value any sort of human, even if that human had all the traits of an animal, over an animal. If push came to shove and we had to continue our existence, I would, like I said,
well, wait, that's not even
kill my own.
That just
I would kill my own dog, and I'm just saying that to demonstrate that, under certain
that literally doesn't make sense, though. But, like, if it had all the traits of an animal. I think we're gonna leave
it at that so we can get on to other questions. Sorry to ask yourself.
Okay.
Just we have a few other questions.
That's totally fine. Well, I'd just say in closing that if it has all the traits of an animal, it would be an animal. But I sent you a friend request, Hassan, and if you want to continue it, I think a lot of vegans in your audience would love to see the discussion. And thanks for your time.
Oh no,
again.
I know. They do.
Yeah, we would love to host like some kind of like roundtable or debate between you guys. That would be awesome.
Yeah, or just a discussion. It doesn't have to be adversarial.
Even even just a casual discussion.
Yeah, thanks to you too, Eris. I appreciate it. All right, have a good day, guys.
Oh, you too.